been busy?
Yeah, work, but I've had a lot of people reach out. Like, I've done, I think, 2 interviews now. This will be the 3rd one since the show.
Nice.
Okay.
Mm.
How's
So
shit
Lexi,
been?
how's your relationship with some of the fish? I know that you're still speaking to Laurent regularly, doing content regularly. How about some of the other people from the original Famous House cast?
So I pretty much definitely talked to LeBron, and I talked to Teddy. I actually just got off the phone like a minute before I joined with you guys with Teddy. I hit up Ian here and there, like just check in. I just was on FaceTime actually with him not too long ago, maybe like a week or so ago. I still get in touch with Connor here and there, because everyone thinks we're dating, so it's really funny to play on that.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah, so I kind of keep in touch with the majority of people. I've reached out to Peyton, but I think she's really, really busy. Or I don't know what's going on. So, but she's
Family
like
and
the only one
stuff.
I haven't, yeah, she's the only one I haven't heard from.
Speaking of Peyton, what do you think of kind of the last couple days, how things have transpired, and actually generally first the last couple of days and then also the whole Famous House 2.0 thing? I know you were watching a lot, doing some streams of you
Yeah.
watching. So what were you thinking during all that
Um,
happening?
The RV was interesting. Like, I don't know. I kind of lost interest in it. Like, I wanted to, like, but it just, I don't know. Wasn't as interesting as them being at the house and stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if other people share that opinion, but it wasn't my favorite kind of scene or whatever. Um, the 2.0 was interesting. So like I got a lot of like DMs from people being like, "You weren't even on Fishtank," and they're like, "You don't even deserve to say that you were on it." Blah blah blah. But then I was like, "Do you know how many of you guys said that you liked Famous House when no one knew what we were on?" Like I've had so many fans are like, "Oh, it was so much better when it's Famous House and you guys didn't know what you were doing." And I was like, "Well, someone's got to make up their mind." So when they like redid the 2.0, it was interesting. The cast definitely was interesting as well, but I kind of felt like they like got rid of them really, really quick too. So I didn't understand the point, I guess, of it.
Yeah. Well, both, I'll tell you this, in both the way you feel about the RV thing and how you feel about 2.0, you're echoing what most of the community kind of feels, and that, we're not really sure where this season's going. It's not following the structure of last season's at all. And yeah, most people are pretty fed up with the RV thing. That being said, so when you first got in, it felt like for a lot of people you were definitely very like into the aspect of the challenge, even not knowing what the whole thing is, just being a part of this game show. You got the president role. So what was kind of the definitive moment where, past everything being revealed, things are getting crazy, that you decided, okay, that I can't continue here? You mentioned the reputation of yourself and your son, and being in sort of a sensitive field, the medical field, too
Mhm.
crazy antics like that. What was the definitive moment for you where you were like, I can't be here?
It was the night of the reveal. So like I don't know. It was a lot of emotions because like I'm trying to think of, it was like the rice challenge. He kicked the TV and then he comes in and Smack's gone and they're saying like um you know, she's they gave Alex the riddle and then we're trying to find her. Like we're sad we didn't get to say goodbye. And then Sam's like, oh, like they're on to the next house that's up, to win more money because this is a neighborhood. Like it was all freaking sketchy and it started to freak me out because I'm like, where the hell am I? What the fuck am I doing? Like, what is happening? I like got super nervous and scared because I'm like, I feel like I don't understand what is happening. I haven't the whole time I was there, I swear
Yeah.
you wake up and you didn't know what was happening. But then for that and to come out and he was like, "Oh, you're in the famous neighborhood." One, that really freaked me out. And then they come back and they're like, "No, you're on Fishtank." And we're like, "What the what is like your brain gets so like scrambled and just confused and then after that, I was like, okay, like I just had a really bad gut feeling. I was like, I feel like this isn't something that I would have signed up for if I would have known about it. And I was
Yeah.
right because after seeing Frank there and just like some of the things that they were doing, I was like, nah, that's like not my type of reality.
Yeah. That's actually like leads me into the next question, which is now being out of it, seeing the community, seeing how the show has transpired. Do you feel at all like any sense of regret? Do you feel like you could have stuck it out a bit longer, knowing now what you know? Obviously, at that time, it was kind of overwhelming being met with all this uncertainty. But now that you know more, do you think you could have maybe stuck it out longer, or do you feel you stand by your decision to get out at that time?
So I don't regret doing it because I would have never met such amazing people like Smack and Laurent, Teddy, pretty much everyone. Like I'm really thankful that I have them because the experiences that we actually had on the show were like once in a lifetime. Um, so with that being said though, like when you're in the house and TTS is just freaking mean all day, every day. And I was like getting the feeling, I was like, wow, I'm really freaking hated here. And like it's not a fun thing to be for me, like constantly hated. I already am in a stressful environment for my career, let alone I don't need any more mental abuse. Um but like coming on the outside actually and then like, getting to connect with a lot of the fans of the show, a majority of the community are really great and they're fun to talk to and be a part of. So like if I probably would have known that maybe before leaving, I might have stayed a little bit longer, but I would have never gotten that RV. I hate road trips. Like I was
Mhm.
like that's too much. So yeah.
Okay, this one is kind of echoing what a lot of the people usually want to know, and it's kind of a three-parter. First being your general thoughts on Bert, especially like first thoughts when you first went in. Second being how does he smell? A lot of people want to know this. They're watching, but they don't have the sense of smell, so they get really curious about that. And then how does the house smell? They also always want to know that.
The smells. That is like the biggest question I always get asked. So my first impression of Bert, it was like I was unsure. And to this day I'm still unsure because like all of the gaslighting that they do with like asking me if I think that Bert was method acting and all of this stuff. I honestly I don't know. I like Teddy, I think we were talking, he was like, I swear he breaks character just for like the smallest moments. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like I know nothing when it comes to the show because they could be gaslighting him this whole time and he's been acting, which would be crazy. But I felt not bad, but more like because once I figured out like he couldn't cook or anything and he was just eating like pretzels and popcorn, I just felt like really bad that like we didn't realize that we weren't taking care of him, I guess. But he didn't like really scare me. I was just more concerned. I just didn't want mentally like things to go bad for him. You always just worry about his own safety basically, and that's definitely being on the show is like a huge mental aspect of it. So, I mean, but he's thriving. So, like he went the opposite way. He's thriving and having a good time. So, more power to him. Um the house doesn't smell bad. I think like we majority of the time when I was there, we were try to keep that house clean. So after the sell and when I left and everything, I'm not sure how it smelled. But majority of the time, everyone was like not an issue with smell. Even Bert, I don't think I remember him anyone having like bad odor or anything.
Okay. Um, you mentioned at the beginning Peyton and kind of getting connected. I'm curious to think since you, Laurent, and Peyton kind of had this trio at the start, were you surprised at how long Peyton ended up lasting in comparison to, the original trio of y'all who were probably the most shell shocked at the time of the reveal, but she ended up staying when everyone kind of thought before the sell, during the sell, that Peyton was going to go?
So I think it surprised me because like everyone said that once I left the house she started opening up and I feel terrible if that's like how I made her feel. I feel that like I already knew that she was such a strong person just from being friends with her. I didn't know if it was going to go either way for her, but once she's a dedicated person. So once I could see that she made that decision that she was going to go all for it, like I knew like I didn't have a doubt that she was going to thrive, you know?
Yeah.
She's just and she's 19, like she has so much, I'm 10 years older than her almost. So she has so much of her life that, and she has way more energy than I do. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So a very popular person, obviously, besides the fact that she's in the final, but all throughout the show has been Binks.
Mhm.
I would say thinking back on your time there, you had sort of minimal interaction. So I'm curious as to what you think of her, like what you thought of her during your time in the house based off of your interactions, and then now what you think of her having watched the show a little bit and seen her more.
So I really never had an issue with Banks. She obviously, like, if you were looking at it from the perspective of Famous House, would have been one of my targets more towards the end, only because she's great. Not because she's a bad person or anything, but like you want to eliminate your competition. So for me, like if it was before we knew it was Fish Tank, she was like on the end. Like we wanted to keep her until like it was time where we had to realize like where our competition was. But she was a great friend in the house. When I made the decision to leave and things like that, because she's more into the streaming world and everything, she was really, really supportive and she gave me a lot of like insight and everything. And she was the one that like understood why the most, I think. So I'm like really grateful for her, like for her to sit down and like try to help me figure out like what I wanted to do.
The night the rug pull happened and you got introduced to Fish Tank, I feel like Binks played a big role in calming you all down up in bedroom 3.
Hmm.
Um, what were your what was your like first reactions to the actual rug pull happening that night?
Um, Honestly, I think I was more so like fried from when he like scared the hell out of me saying that we were in the Famous House neighborhood. I don't know why, but that freaked me out because I was like, I'm not staying here for 6 damn months. Like, I think from there, and then they introduced Fish Tank. I was like, oh great, like is this even real? Like, because in your mind you're like, okay, is this another lie? Are they gonna tell us this something else? And then like when Alex and Bing started talking about their original contracts, I think from January that first said Fish Tank, then it kind of like made me like I guess ease a little bit more because then I realized like okay, so this might have actually been a thing. And then with the pictures that they were showing on the TV, um, so I guess it wasn't like I was just kind of over it. I was kind of over like, oh, this is what you're on. This is what you're on. Nope, this is actually what you're on. I was kind of like over all of like trying to like figure out what the hell we were doing. But when she kind of was explaining it to me, I realized that I am like I'm not from that world. I know nothing. Like I like everyone keeps saying like start a YouTube. Can you go live? Like this and that. I'm like guys, like I feel like I'm technology challenged at this point. Everyone knows how to do so many more things on social media than I do. So like when she was explaining it and stuff, she definitely like helped a little bit with all the questions that I have, but I still felt like I was a fish out of water.
Do you excuse me. Um, so you were the first of your clique to leave. Did you see LaRon leaving so quickly after you left? Did you think that that would be something that would have happened?
Um, so he is his own person, and I know that once he sets his mind to something, he's like gonna do it or not do it. I didn't want to be the reason he left, and I don't think that was it. I knew that he was already having reservations because we talked about it, about wanting to leave and everything. So I didn't. I'm trying to forget. Like I'm trying to remember where I was, and they were telling me that Laurent was leaving, and like I couldn't like stream it. I couldn't see his goodbye or anything. I didn't get to see his exit. Um, I was upset because I felt responsible, but like I because of how similar we are, I understand. I didn't know it was gonna like be later that day. I thought, it could have been like maybe the next day or something, or when something else crazy happened. He's like, up, I'm out, Um, but yeah, I mean, he's I love him to death, and so I'm just glad that he just figured out what was right for him.
After after leaving the house, a couple of days after leaving the house, Alex B's wife showed up. Were you able to see that? Were you able to catch any of that?
Oh my god, yeah, my snap blew up with people telling me to go watch the show. So I did tune in, and she was like already in the penthouse, and it was like the craziest thing that I did watch. I just couldn't believe that they brought one families on. And then two, like watching the attack, like she attacked Banks, and then like some of the language she was using, like it was just a lot to take in for me. I was kind of glad that I wasn't there because that's just like some Jerry Springer stuff. I felt like.
Yeah, I mean, when he said she was a big, beautiful Latina, I don't think he was lying. Um,
Yeah.
did you have any doubts about because he talked a lot, right? Did you
Oh
have
my god.
any? Were there any doubts in your mind that he could have been lying about things, or he could have been like embellishing? Like, did you
All the
believe he
time.
had monkeys and he was really
The
rich?
the monkeys that I believed 100% sure, but the money aspect and all of that, like you could tell, like he he's able to write his own narrative for one, and two, like he definitely is an embellisher because like even like if something were to happen in the house and he tells me about it and then I go to the source and they tell me what happened, like maybe 60% of what he said was true and the rest is like embellished. So you just like had to take him with a grain of salt. Like when he wanted to talk to you, you had to like mentally prepare for like an hour conversation of like, okay, Alex, okay, okay. Um, but yeah, like even it just seeing like his demeanor and the way he dressed and everything, like I got like somewhat of like rich spoiled kid, but then that got cut off at some point because like I felt like just the way his style was and everything, like that was dated. So the money ended when that style was in.
So I got a question. What are your thoughts on the whole Wild Randy and the monkey allegations on the show?
What do you mean? Which like
Like when Frank was pretending to be Wild Randy,
mhm.
like what are your thoughts around that time?
I don't think I got to see when Frank entered the house. I was at this point was I thought it would be funny for someone to come in as Wild Randy and just cause chaos, so I think Frank was great for that. I don't I mean, it just we kept telling Alex like, like they're fucking with you, like the more interactions you give, the more it's going to mess with you, and he just didn't listen. So for me, I was like, well, he might as well like give everyone what they're wanting for is to send Wild Randy in. So I thought it was funny. I'm not going to lie.
Hmm.
Just to mess with Alex.
Do you
Speaking
think?
of Alex, have you kind of seen his so to speak, behavior past the show, what a lot of people might be calling a bit of a crash out and having to constantly post, his travels or things that are expensive? Have you kind of kept up with that? And does that surprise you of him?
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, when people feel really insecure, I feel like they got to keep putting it out there. That's just what I read on him. I wish, like, no ill intentions or anything on Alex, but like, I don't have him on social media anymore because of his posting. It was just crazy, and like, he was bringing in Prince, saying things like, he talked to Prince or something when he never did, and the same thing with Connor. And I'm like, I'm not being associated with someone who just lies like that. And then on top of it, with his wife, who made that video that was later taken down, calling me out for I don't even know what. Because anytime someone would mention her, like I'm not gonna sit here and shame anyone. That's not my point. I want everyone to like. I don't care about anyone's size or anything, but she was like saying I was saying things about her. One, I didn't even know her name, so I've never even said her name because I don't know it. And then Alex was just sitting in the passenger seat, like listening to it. I was like, you're pathetic." And I think I told him that to his face multiple times because like it's just he's a pushover. So I'm like, I'm just not even associating with him anymore. I took him off social media. I've heard a lot about his crash outs, him just spiraling on social media. It's just he was like that kind of in the house too, and it's kind of annoying to have in your life. It's so chaotic. It's just not fun to be around. So I just don't even talk to him or have any him on social, so I don't even have to see it.
Makes sense.
Do you looking back at clips and stuff now that you're out of the fish tank, do you think you could have handled a hassling? Do you think you could have took a hassling?
No. I, no. I probably like the whole like what mustard scene and like dumping milk and like that is way too much for me. First of all, like my hair is my biggest thing. So if someone would have put mustard in my like hair or something, I would have walked right out the front door. I knew that's not for me. That type of like hassling is really really crazy and chaotic and people are okay with that, but for me I would have that's not good for me.
What excuse me. Give me 1 second here. If someone has a question, if they can go ahead and ask.
Okay.
Alexis, so one of my questions I had was, kind of where you go from here after Fish Tank. Now, a lot of people create content, and one thing a lot of the fans noticed is that you kind of immediately started to sell like your undergarments, right? And this is because
Yeah.
of the demand for them, I would say.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself creating that kind of content, NSFW content, maybe even leading to an OnlyFans account? Is that the kind of realm you're looking at?
No, so when I left the show, and like
Damn.
I started to get a crap ton of DMs from fans, and I don't, because I remember it was like on one of the TTSs I sent through, someone said something about a thong, and so like I kept playing on it because I was like, oh, well, I'll just sell my underwear when you know what I'm saying? Well, then a lot of people like I guess remembered it or something, so I started to get a lot of DMs like, are you selling your thongs or can I buy one of your thongs? Or like, so I was like, screw it. After I feel like if my inbox had like 120 some DMs at one point, and majority of them was asking about my OnlyFans or if they could purchase my thong, and I was like, I might as well make money off of it because who's it hurting? It didn't hurt anyone. So that's why I did it, and I've had a lot of people message me, and they're like, "We loved you on the tank," and they were like so like happy when they got their packages. Like I had a wife reach out, and she was like, "My husband loved watching you on the show. I would love to surprise him for Christmas with one of your thongs." I was like, "Okay, like
What?
awesome,
That is
yeah."
insane.
And I was like, "Okay." So I wasn't expecting it, and like the OnlyFans comment gets said to me so many times. Like I was like out with friends one time for a vets thing for um here at my local town, and like someone was like, "Oh, you're that OnlyFans model." Like it's just like I don't know if it's just have a similar face, so that's why I just I not brag about it, but I continue just like to make fun of it because people think that's a great pickup line, I guess. I don't know. I don't see me starting one or wanting to, just because like that's not who I am. Just the underwear in my bikini. It was just funny because those were people that were asking. I mean, I just did that shoot with Steven in the fish tank, and I've had like people message me about like the set that I was wearing in the fish tank if they could buy that. I don't know what it is, but people like to buy things off of other people's bodies. So I'm not opposed to it.
Now would you ever be interested in the future with doing anything related to Fish Tank or MDE if you were approached?
I guess it would depend on the situation. I think I would only do something with Fish Tank if Prince was doing it with me, but just because like he's my duo with that show. When I think of the show, I'm not gonna do anything without him because he was like my person there. And if I ever do content or things like that regarding the show, like either we've talked about it, I've like, hey, like I'm gonna post something like this or anything, he's like my other half with it. So if I were to, it'd have to involve him, honestly.
Yeah, he said in one of his Instagram reels that y'all had sex. Can you tell us exactly where you had sex so I can find that clip, please?
We didn't. He's trolling all of you. Oh my god, that's so funny. I laughed so hard when I saw that. Just because he's like when he called me, because Eric's like, "Did you tell Lex you were gonna say that before you posted it?" He's like, "Oh hell no, she's gonna find it funny." So when I called him, I was like, "I am laughing so hard. Do you know how many people's minds you're blowing?" And he was like, "Oh, I know." He's like, "We act like we don't know that we were filmed 24/7 now. Like no one's gonna be able to find the clip because there is none. We slept in the penthouse together, all like side by side, but we've never had sex right hand up to God." He was just gaslighting everyone, and I thought it was hilarious because obviously, if that were to happen, someone would have either clipped it, someone would have said something, like something.
Yeah. Any thoughts? I think it would. Any thoughts on like you and Connor have done a couple of streams together, and they seem
Mm-hmm.
to be fairly entertaining. Any thoughts of maybe doing a podcast with say like you, LaRon, Smack, and say like Peyton or anything like that?
Yeah, like I would love to. I was the only reason I even did one with Connor was because I was up in New Jersey anyway, and that was kind of like a spur of the moment type of get together that we had since I was already up there in that state. I know that I've talked to Prince and I told him like I plan on doing a trip here soon to Texas. So I can see something in the works with me and him doing something together. And if I'm down there, I would love for Payne to join. I mean, I think she's just really, really busy. I don't know. I know Prince reached out to her. Oh my goodness, I can't talk. Reached out to her, and like he thinks the same thing. So we're just letting her like reintegrate back to society, and then hopefully we can all like get together like the trio there and do something. So I don't know. I don't have anything in the works yet, but I know at least me and Prance are planning on meeting up here soon.
Good. Was it surprising to find out that Teddy actually knew what the show was and how he was able to hide it for so long from you guys?
Mm. So for me, no, I love my little teddy bear. He like I genuinely care about him, and we pretty much talk like every day, if not every other day. Call FaceTime, and um, it's not surprising to me that he knew just because like I feel like he's more into that world than I am, kind of like how like with the skateboarding and like what he does. I felt like to me it didn't shock me, but it did shock me that he was trying to protect like the people that didn't know, like me and who else did he say? Smack and things. He was like, when he told me, he was like, he knew what the show could do to people that were like, I guess not sensitive, but are like not knowing what the show was. So like he like I don't know, felt like a brother. He still feels like a brother to me. And I don't. To me, everyone's like, "Do you care that he knew?" I was like, "No, I have no cares that he knew. Like, it doesn't bother me, cause like you can't." I'm sorry, but I feel like Banks knows. I really do. She got the contract that originally said Fishtank. I mean, all the prep that everyone else did for this show, we all Googled like last man standing or whatever we were signing and we got nothing. But you're telling me when you got that contract, you didn't at least Google Fish Tank, like to figure out anything about it. And, with her platforms and stuff, like I feel like she would have known slightly about it. But that's just like what a lot of us are feeling that she knew. She's really good at hiding it, but
Yeah,
who's to say?
there was definitely moments where there were some small slip ups from Jeremy or Sam where everybody reacted completely different from the way Binks reacted because she kind of knew what was coming. But Teddy is also he's a bit of an enigma. He is a fish tank fan, although nobody knows anything about him.
Hmm.
He's not in any of the discords, or he doesn't have any real social media presence. So that's actually pretty interesting in itself. I do have
Yeah.
a question about Symbol, though. What are your thoughts on Symbol as a person? Was he a good competitor? Did he have good morals?
So as a competitor, he was okay. I think I did a live with him and I told him like I always gonna keep up the hate because that was my mission. I told him that I at times like I felt he was really sneaky and like he just said what he wanted to say to like better himself, and his comeback always was like he was there to play the game. So I respect that. As a person, like I question like if I know who he really was because I didn't let myself really not talk to him, but really I didn't really have a care to know him that well. Just because for me I didn't have the trust there to want to even know him. Um, Seems like he's doing great. He's really active on Insta. He's either on live or he's posting like his success as DMs and stuff, which I hope the best for him and nothing really like from the show ruined his reputation or anything like that, because I've seen some videos and I get always asked about it. So I don't know. I don't know if I really truly know who he is a person to really make a big judgment on if I like him or not. On the show, I just didn't care to like him.
Yeah, he's
I want to ask.
go
Can
ahead.
I ask one? So a lot of people are wondering what your thoughts are on the production, like Jet, Sam, Gay Ben, who is not, and probably like your thoughts during the show versus your thoughts afterwards, because it might be influenced by watching. And also, I'm curious if you ever got Luca's number.
Okay. So, Saul's on production, like Gay Ben, I did not know that. Like, it was interesting because sometimes, like, I questioned it. I was like, maybe he's like bi. I didn't know, but to me, it doesn't matter what anyone identify as, and I really don't have to know. I'll treat everyone the same. But he definitely was funny. I love, like, some of the times when Sam and Ben were getting into it when we were doing a scene made me so awkward. And then now looking back, I'm like, that's actually funny. Like when Ben was like, oh, you're not doing the scene big enough, when I think they were introducing computer or something, and
Yeah.
Ben took Sam's spot and was like doing it. I was like, what's happening? And then they like went back and had a talk. Like that, like now looking back, I'm like, oh my god, I feel stupid, but they did really really well. So like, I don't know. And then finding out that Ben's not gay, because when I met him, I think down in production, or was it right before there, he came up and he was like in a snapback and a gray sweatshirt. I was like,
Oh yeah, they
okay,
met at the
that's
rug pull.
yeah, yeah. I was like, that's not the Ben that we know. So, yeah. And then the funniest part is I feel so stupid because the first like couple days I kept calling Jet Chet, and then someone's like, "That's not his name." I'm like, "Oh my god!" Now I feel stupid, and I didn't know that he was like the big guy for the show. I had no idea until like way later, which is like kind of crazy to me. I thought he was like funny and he did a great job doing his role on the show. I would never suspected that he was like the person behind Fishtank. So I thought that was like really really cool. And let's see, I did not get Luca's number, but he does follow me on Insta, and he likes some of my stuff and I like some of his stuff. So
The door's open.
I know. Yep.
Popping off, you got something?
I do. So you said earlier that and this might be a bit of a hard hitting question, but you said earlier that you have what people do is their own thing, right? And you really really don't care. There was a very controversial moment with a contestant named Brandon who came into the house. What were your
Mhm.
what's your opinion on the entire Brandon situation?
So I don't know if I know the whole story. I do know that he's like in his 30s and he's a fashion designer, and that he designed clothing for like an 8-year-old drag queen. Is that the whole gist of the thing? Or am I
Uh,
missing something?
yeah, he was commissioned for a to make a dress for an 8-year-old drag queen. Yeah. He also has a song called "I Fucked a Boy."
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I didn't do a lot of digging on this just because I was like watching some of his clips, and like I watched like Sam like throw the money on the couch or something and like tell him to leave and everything like that. Um I don't yeah, for me that's such a young age. For someone, I don't know. I don't know a lot about the situation to have a comment on it. I don't want to, I don't know, I don't have anyone in this position. I know that like my sister, she transitioned from female to male when she was 16, and just from being in the medical field and hearing a lot of people's stories from in their 40s and late 30s saying that they wish they never transitioned that young and things like that, it just worries me. People being, children who have such a agile mind, and big influence on things, like making life decisions like that. It's kind of like scary, and I don't think sexualizing children obviously is the way to go at all. It's already done way too much, and it's worrisome, I guess I would say. I don't know. I don't know like enough about his situation, why he did it, like what was the gist, like who who commissioned him to do it. I would have said no, but that's not me. That's in his shoes. That's what he chose to do. So.
Fair enough. Back to back to the initial Famous House cast.
Mhm.
There was a couple instances with Luke. Excuse me. There was a couple instances with Luke. One where he grabbed Symbol's shirt and pushed him out of the room.
Mhm.
And then the night, essentially, where he crashed out and banged the pots and pans, and went
Mhm.
and got eliminated. Uh, what were your thoughts on those situations specifically?
So thanks to Luke, because now everyone fucking calls me Nurse Ratchet after that night. So that was great. Um like, okay. So anyway, I don't know if you guys remember. So I was between him and Symbol when he did that. Cause he like went after him and like pushed him out of the doorway first, and then he like went back to his bed, and then Symbol like inserted himself again. And that's where like some of my like questions, like why I don't trust Symbol, because if he would have just stayed back, like clearly he wasn't wanted in that room. So like, and then he like tried to push past, like my arm was like up on the door frame, and he was like no no no, and then try to push past me, and that's when Luke grabbed him and pushed him all the way to his room. I felt like that could have been avoided. I don't know if Luke was acting. I feel like he was, because they did tell me that he was a part of production when I went downstairs. um
Yeah,
and then, oh
multiple
sorry.
people. I'm sorry. Multiple people said he was downstairs when they left or when they quit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah. So, they did say that he was definitely a plant, but like some of the things that like the pots and pans was something they had no idea that he was going to do. Um, Leading me into that, like I remember like I was sleeping beside Prince, and like I hear these pots and pans, and then I look at like the doors, and like he's smiling crazy, and I'm like freaking out, and I also hear is like, wake up, it's elimination, and I'm like, oh my god. And we take melatonin because it's so hard to sleep in that house. So I'm like, what's going on? And then we go downstairs, and then like we're all freaking confused. Everyone, like I think Vance and Luca run in confused, and we're like, what's going on? They didn't have cameras. It was interesting. I don't know. And then like his story the next day about him cutting out nicotine and then like sleep and blah blah, all this stuff. I still don't even know what the hell happened. I really don't. I gave up trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy, especially with him coming back on the show and everybody just being kind of stun locked when they saw him. Um, so we're about to wrap up here. I just really quick before we do, I got just a couple of quick things. One question from Hunter. He wants to know if you were surprised when Ian came back to the show. Um, and what are your thoughts on the altercation between Job and Ian, and of course Ian being upset at Job saying "nigga" so many times?
I was surprised because I was on the phone with Ian the day before, and that motherfucker never said a damn thing about going back to the show. I was like, what? When I saw that he was on, I was like, I literally talked to him not even 24 hours ago, and he's back at the house. So I was completely shocked, but I was like, hey, maybe this is his do-over, and maybe we're gonna see a side of him that we didn't get to before. But so I was surprised, and then I that's not a word in my vocabulary that I use, and I know that it's offensive, especially to a bunch of my friends. So I mean, it was kind of with Ian's an easy guy to get along with, and if it was for me, I understand the point of the show, but it's not something that I would do if someone was using vocabulary that I was not okay with. I'm not going to continue to use it, but I feel like it was an instigation tactic that was occurring. So, I mean, it sucks, and I don't have that word to use ever.
Yeah. Do you think Ian gets a pass? Do you think Ian can say it?
So I don't have a comment because I am white. I have no comment of what other that's not my community. I just know that like I grew up in Baltimore. I don't have a color preference or anything like that. Everyone is treated the same. So in that regards, I'm not going to say any comment on that.
Fair enough. So one of the last things I wanted to ask, and then we're going to I think Proton will say some stuff. One of the last things I want to ask before I hop out of here is what do you got going on the horizon? Where can we see you? What can we expect from you? What's 2025 going to be like for Miss Lexi?
So I'm hoping, well, obviously I'm still doing a lot of my model shoots. And that's something I really like to do. I'm still being a nurse. I do my travel nursing still. But hopefully like I've applied some different reality TV shows. So, maybe one of those you might be able to see me on. We don't know yet. But that's something that I kind of did like the little bit of exposure, like working with the cameras and everything, even though it was just, not a big TV type of show. But I did find that it was really fun and, maybe Love Island or, one of those that possibly that I auditioned for and you might be able to see me there. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see.
I do have a question. Would you like to hear from all of the fans? Something we do is we ask if the fish would like to go and talk to all the fans at once, which allows them all kind of talk to you, but it can be very chaotic, and it's completely up
Okay.
to you if you do or don't. If you don't have any time, it's okay, but if you'd like to, they would love to talk to you.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm okay with that. We can try it.
All right.
Okay.
Oh God, is this a bad
Well,
idea or a
afterwards
good
we'll
idea?
drag
I
you.
feel like it's a bad idea.
Okay.
It's fun.
It's
fun.
fine.
It'll just
It'll
be
probably be
crazy.
fine. But afterwards, we'll drag you here. We're just gonna give you a little taste, and after like 5-10 minutes, we'll drag you back in here and give some final closing statements.
Okay.
Proton, I just wanted to mention to Lexi, Lexi, in this server, you can promote anything you want, as well as the other
Yes.
fish. There's like a specific fish thread just for you guys that only you guys can post in,
Top of the
and
server.
you can promote yourself, and I believe there's just a chat that you can chat with the other fish in as well. So that's something to just look for in the server. I think what we'll do is we'll ping your name so that you can find it much more easily.
Okay.
All right. We'll do a little allowing everybody to speak real quick. Everybody go to NSA. I'll drag Lexi over there.
Get being banged.
Yeah, it was really scary.
Hey, Lexi. Anybody have any questions?
I just
I
asked.
think I was trying to ask one in the other chat, but if you didn't get eliminated so early, how far do you think you would have gotten in that
You left. You
show?
didn't get eliminated.
Oh, really?
If you had stayed, how far do you think you'd go?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I would have went like
I
at
would've
least 2
won.
more days.
I would have won.
Talk.
It's not Lexi.
Wait,
Mm.
Let her
did I
talk.
not win?
Let her talk.
That is
Not talking.
me. Don't listen to them.
Hi.
Let her talk now.
Lexi, the Halloween DJ Filthy likes you.
Lexi, you
Oh,
need
yeah.
to understand, you can dish it out to any of these boys. If they're giving you shit, just give it straight
Yeah,
back
just-
them, okay? Dish it out.
Call
Go
them anything
crazy.
and everything. They deserve it. We all
Not as
deserve
much
it.
as I
We talk
want.
shit here.
Okay.
These are the people that were in your DMs asking for the underwear.
Not
Aw,
me.
thanks, guys.
Wanted
Not me. I'm
your
different.
panties on their
This
face.
is what they sound like.
Yo,
You don't
Down
speak
bad.
for everyone here.
I do.
I would never
No,
disrespect
you don't.
my queen.
Yes, I do
I
now.
love you, Lexi.
I said
You're
I
really
do.
hot.
Oh my
She's
god.
my queen.
do now.
I love her. I
No,
love her
she's my
more.
queen.
fan,
She's
man.
my queen.
No, she's my 30 queen.
No.
She's my queen. No, leave her
No,
alone.
she's
I'm
mine.
old.
She is mine.
No,
Do
she's
you wish
mine.
that you would have gotten to meet some of the characters that came in after you left?
That would have been interesting. I don't know. I've had a lot of people like
Kind of a
compare me
double-edged sword there.
to Breezy or something. They were like, they were like, oh my god, Breezy's coming to take like your spot. I'm like, she can have it. Like, I don't care. I think she was hot. I mean, every show needs someone that's hot and that's like out. I mean, it's fine. I'm a girl's
True.
girl. I try to be. So, I mean,
Just a girl. I'm sorry.
She was hot, but not as hot.
aw.
The new cast was also
Exactly.
just
I
hot
just want to let
people.
you
Gained
know
a
that
lot
you
of
gotta like better.
fans.
Because we
Hey,
got
I got a
Gained a
question.
how
lot.
do you feel about
Yeah.
Nifty if you saw any of her?
Nifty. Oh, is she with the one with the shaved head or
Polycule.
something?
Yup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
polycule
And
weird
dress
I
hair.
skirts.
Flex on it now, right now.
She was
The
kind of
racial
she
scene
was
with Burt
interesting. She
Wynn.
was oh god, I didn't see that one. No, I'm sorry. I saw her
Nifty niggas.
peep in with Mizzy and she was like hi and then like peaced out and I was like, "Oh, okay." I thought that was funny.
Why is this on?
But
I
yeah.
joined the VC late for the interview, so I don't know if this was already asked, but how did you feel about them just constantly bashing Vance whenever he did something wrong? Or whenever
Wait,
something went wrong?
Why you
Good
hate
question.
wait, what was that? I'm sorry. You kind of went out, honey.
why?
Sorry, I'm in a parking lot.
Oh, how did you
how
feel
would
about
you-
Vance being like bashed on? The cameraman, his name was Vance. He dropped the cake.
Oh my god, when the
one with
cake
the
was
hair.
dropped.
She
I
wanted
know
to give
Vance.
a hug, I bet.
Right, I gotta make sure.
Oh, that was so awkward. I felt really really bad. Like, and then like realizing that he was, after when I got from the show, and he was like on what season 2 or
One.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was a
Season
runner
one.
up, right?
Yeah.
Nah, he was
No,
there.
we loved
He
him.
was.
We loved him. When I was watching season 1, Vance pilled all the way. That's all I gotta say. It's
Yeah,
gotta be
yeah. He
Vance
was a
pill.
fan favorite for sure.
Fucking go!
Yeah, that was when he dropped the cake, and then like Sam, like I think someone yelled cocksucker or something. I was like, oh my god, I'm so awkward.
Yeah, that was Sam.
It was
Lexi, did you ever see a lot of times during the Famous House era, Vance was the cameraman. They would basically attack him as the bit, like just to try and make you guys feel uncomfortable and feel like the production's fighting. How did you guys feel? And did you guys ever have talks about Vance like getting bullied on and basically attacked and the production all fighting basically, especially Ben and
Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah, for sure. I know the scene that me and Peyton did, and like he was running up the stairs, and then he was like catching his breath on camera. And he was like, "Can we take a minute?" And then Ben was like, "You should probably like do some cardio if you can't run up the
Zero
stairs."
grams said, already asked, not happening at the moment.
What was that?
Yeah.
Oh, but
TTS, we don't know.
that's
There's
What
TTS here as well.
TS
yeah.
is here.
Yeah.
oh
So
my
getting
god,
even
typed
here.
in the side
shit
chat.
in my sleep. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you have that? A lot of fish have that.
What phantom noise?
Like you feel like you're being watched still, right?
Yeah, it is. That's such like even like when I was at the airport, everything like sometimes I'll go to my bathroom to change. I'm like, shit, no one's here. Like I can change anywhere.
Well, there was no bathroom cams. In
Oh,
season
yeah.
2 there was, and I think it caused more problems than it caused happiness. I
What are
guess.
your thoughts on having so many booty pics and juicy photos of you out there now?
Everybody loves you.
I
I
was
want to go there, go back. Bye guys. Bye Lex.
Bye. It was interesting because like I saw like my like the one of the clips that's like really like well liked is one of me changing in the room in bedroom 2 the first day.
Oh
And I
yeah.
was like,
It's in here.
oh
That's the
my
most popular clip, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and I was like, oh my god. And I was like, and I tell everyone, like, look at the date. It was literally the first day that we were in the house. I had no idea, like, there was cameras, anything. I had no idea. And honestly, I'm glad I wasn't like butt ass naked.
0 grams
I'm not.
said,
Don't
"Can
feel
you
bad.
drop it
Mizzy,
in
Mizzy
chat,
was
Lexi?"
told the show was live, and an hour later, she was in the room changing after she was told the show was live.
I saw that shit live.
Good for
Thank
her.
you, Lexi.
Like, then she had a
I'm
nip slip too. She.
Oh
A lot
yeah,
of
I'm
stuff slipped,
surprised to
man.
see how many boobs I've had, like clips of that. Like people will send me like clips and things like that, and I'm like, I don't even know where you got these. But honestly, it is what it is. I've worked really hard to like lose a lot of my weight and worked on my glutes, so I'm kind of proud of it. I mean, clearly with a lot of the photography I do, it's more risky, I guess. I do more of that, so it is what it is. Like I'm not ashamed of my body.
Talking about
Um,
butt, do you think Bert's
Yeah, we're
butt was
definitely not
fake?
ashamed of that body, girl. That shit thick.
God damn, you got a
God
good
damn.
body on you.
Holy
Oh
fuck.
my
Do you,
god.
do you think
I need to
Bert's
stop. I'm
butt
sorry.
was fake?
Bert's
And
butt
muscle.
is fake. Everybody knows. He even said it.
Yep.
That shit. Oh,
No,
man.
If he has
Lexi, as
muscle
a
implants, he's not
nurse,
gonna stop at a BBW. Like,
We
Lexi,
have
as
a
a
very
nurse, could
important
you order
question,
my
Lexi.
Vyvanse that my doctor forgot to order? Or
no,
fuck!
no, honey. That's a controlled substance. You're gonna need to go get that. I don't. I love how all the people
Who's
want to
hot
like,
miking?
I've had a lot of people be really mean about my nursing license, which just sucks because I work in a lot of areas where people need help, and I'm a hell of a good nurse, and I love my patients. So it's like really shitty to see that side of the fans come out. I've had people like.
Sorry.
You're good. That's like the only part, the reason why a lot of my socials I'll deactivate and things like that. I've had people somehow pull pictures of like me at the hospital that I didn't even know were taken, and I'm like, okay, like, do you know how many nurses stream from hospitals? How many they're TikToking in hospitals to promote like patient? I'm like, I haven't done anything wrong. I mean, if someone like, it's just so annoying because I have a career on, and just because it was on Fish Tank, people shouldn't try to like really ruin people's
Yeah.
lives, but
With that
Some of
being
them are
said, though,
miserable.
I have like
They're mizzy.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I have a bit of a nurse kink. I think women in scrubs
All right,
are
Oh
absolutely
my
beautiful.
god.
Lexi, what part of the hospital do you work in?
Can we get a nurse photo shoot?
I worked on actually all the floors when I started as an RN, and then I work between psych and correctional facilities now.
Have you ever been assaulted? And if so, what's the craziest time you've ever been assaulted?
I need a nurse photo shoot.
you can go
Have I
ahead.
been-
Because I've been
Assaulted? That's a wild
Everybody,
question.
Yeah, you
let
can
her
ignore
answer.
that one,
like
Alex.
everyone has.
Crazy question.
That was a weird
Killing my
one.
boner.
Do you
Trying to
mean like
FaceTime me?
was she being in like a
Let
good
me
fight
see.
or something? Is that what you're trying to ask?
A
Like,
lot of
Let her
I
talk,
work
let her talk.
security at a
Let her talk,
hospital,
let her talk.
and majority of nurses
I
have
mean,
Hey,
stories
whoa,
of
whoa,
like
I was an
when they've been like
LPN in drug
grabbed
and
or hit.
alcohol. Yeah, like I have. It depends on where you work. I work in a lot of unconventional places because normal nurses don't want to work in a drug rehab. They don't want to work in a prison. They don't want to work in psych because these are office places where things can happen because people do need help in these
Tell you
places.
what,
So
if
you
I was
don't want to
in
treat
jail,
Binks
I would
or
love to
Bert?
see you, girl. I'd love for you to be my nurse. I know you're so popular in there. You make everybody's day.
See, I can do like I work in prisons because like I don't like working in a hospital is customer service. Like you have to please the family and the patient, and my priority is my patient. And I love working in the hospital. My favorite was like a trauma unit. I love that. Don't get me wrong, but then families really burn you out more than anything. So when I switched to prison, like
You like them bad boys,
Oh,
right?
I bet the
You like them
prisoners
I'm
bad
getting
love
boys,
some
you,
head
though.
right?
trauma right now.
That's what it is.
Are you in a male prison or female prison?
That's private, personal. But I would gladly
What?
go to prison and get shanked just to be treated by you.
Okay, buddy, you need to take
Bro,
your
you need
horny
to calm
pills,
down.
okay?
Wow.
I'm
Go take
simping
your horny
hard.
pills, bud.
She's
You
not
need
in
to
here
calm down.
anymore.
Go
Oh
jack
no,
off a little
I'm
bit.
She's
Take
back.
your
here.
shirt off.
simping hard.
She's here.
Oh, she's
She's
in
here.
here.
Simping
She's
hard.
a horny fuck.
I'm simping
Lexi, do
hard.
you
No,
prefer
Lexi,
boobs or
I have
butt?
a weird question for you.
Go for
As
Do
a
you
it.
treat
nurse, what
Bert?
is the number one stolen drug? Is it opioids or is it benzos?
Mm.
Who gives a fuck?
So
I do.
like where I work, like it's impossible to do that. Like I work in like correctional facilities where we're on actually cameras 24/7, you know that. So like that
Yeah.
where I work, that's not like ever a concern to me. So honestly, I couldn't tell you unless like I go somewhere and do an odd, I don't know. I luckily have never been in that situation where I've had to worry about that.
Huh. I just thought I would ask. I'm a studying chemist, so I have a lot of questions about drugs.
I I mean, I know it happens. I do legal nursing on the side. I've done a couple cases, like one in Georgia, one in Minnesota, and things like that as an expert. And it's just I know it happens. I am fortunate enough that I don't have to be roped into that.
You ever been in a prison riot?
Hell no.
I was in
No.
prison. I was in prison during a riot, so
Oh God.
yeah.
No,
They
I
killed
mean
a
the
guard.
only
That's
No
what
awesome.
cap.
state? What state are
What's your
are
favorite
you
part of your
in?
job?
Delaware.
Oh, I was gonna say not PA because I was gonna say I remember that case.
Eh,
My favorite part of my job, I don't know what happens.
How many people
Um,
smoke fen in prison?
One too many.
One at a time.
it's a lot. I don't know. I guess my favorite part of my job is my coworkers because I mean, that's where you have the most fun. And then I don't know. I mean, I do like I do drug and alcohol, so almost everyone who's coming down on opiates is going to be getting tested for fentanyl, and it's honestly laced with so much stuff, so it's unfortunate.
We had a problem where I live when I was buying weed off the streets. There was a
Yeah.
problem with laced weed with fentanyl. It
Mhm.
was really crazy. I was starting to get scared.
Yeah, it's also in
shit, I don't
K2
wanna die.
too. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
K2 is
Yeah.
fucked.
I
Yeah.
used to smoke that
And
shit back in the day.
Yeah, bro. You know what? Take that one back
You
to
know
the
it's working when you hear your
laboratories,
brain
boys.
bubbling.
Hey, there ain't no shame in my
Take that
game.
one back.
I just have a passion for working with people that want to get clean. I like working with people that are coming addiction. So like, if anyone ever needs help or anything like that, please feel free
I
to
need
reach
help.
out.
Help
I was on
me!
probation.
These
though,
people need a
so-
little more help than just
I need so much
individual
help,
drug
Lexi,
problems. I'm gonna be
please.
honest with you,
Yes,
Lexi.
pal. I need help.
What does it smell like in that facility?
Not
Which
good.
one?
The prison.
The one,
The
yeah.
prison.
So everyone knows there's a difference between county and state. And then it depends on it's what county you're in or state. It honestly depends on where your funding's at. I'm not gonna lie. So I've been into some really, really nice ones and I've been into some really, really gross ones, but it is what it is. I just go and I do my job.
Which prison system? Can you rank them? Can you rank the prison systems, please?
What do you mean?
What?
Like in terms of like cleanliness, would I want to be in a state or like a federal facility?
Oh.
Probably federal.
So federal. I've been into
Yeah.
a federal one and it was squeaky
Hey,
clean.
Willie.
It was nice.
Scott's
So.
one doing the interview, right?
So what's your wildest psych story? Like being in a psychology ward or like a psych ward? What's your like craziest story, if you can tell, of course?
Honestly, the reason I like to work, I thrive on chaos. I like things that are never like mundane. I don't like the same routine. So, I mean, I know crazy things that happen. Like, I've left with bruises from definitely getting punched and kicked. I've, had
That was my question earlier.
yeah,
But
yeah. So I
continue.
have, and it is what it is. You get trained on these types of situations, which is why a lot of nurses don't like to work in those type of things. I've had like a nebulizer machine like threw at my head, like you name it. It probably has happened, but honestly, I go back and I'm not like scared to go back. It is what it is.
It's very admirable that you are willing to take the abuse, because a lot of these people are in psychosis or having a like really bad time with their mental health. So it's kind of very nice that you are willing to take those bad moments and be like, hey, I want to help these people more than I care about getting harmed.
Yeah. I mean, like I know, like it's the same people. Like I just know that, like if people need help, like, and I have the empathy to do it. That's why I do it. I know, like when I don't have the empathy anymore, it's time to get out, and there's not a lot of people that do it. So I'm not trying to sound like a sob story, but I have the empathy. I love to relate to people. I don't, I don't know what they're going through. I try to
What made
do
you
the
get into
best.
nursing?
Honestly, I went to school for criminal justice actually, and then I couldn't afford to go to the main campus. So my friend was like, "Hey, go to nursing school with me," and I did it on a wild card.
Were you explained in nursing school the dangers of being a nurse?
It, what do you mean?
Like,
Like
like patients could harm you.
You're gonna get hit. You're gonna get bruised. You're gonna get assaulted.
Laser machine
Bert
thrown
might
at
be
your
in the
head.
psych
Dealing
ward and
with
try
people
killing
at the
you.
worst.
Like, has there
I
been
mean,
any
Was that ever
situations
explained?
so like it's a
Sorry if it smells like
it's
shit.
hard to explain. You kind of know what you're signing up for. You know that you're there to take care of people that aren't able to take care of themselves. But nursing pre-COVID, I was a nurse pre-COVID and post-COVID. Nursing pre-COVID is way different than it is now. That's why you see so many travelers and see so many agency nurses, because people don't want to stay at bedside anymore because of what happened after COVID. I don't know what happened. Management changed. All hospitals and like medical facilities became a business more than like a patient, and I can't fuck with that. I'm sorry, but I've left jobs when patients aren't the number one priority. I have left that day. After I finished my shift, I said I'm not coming back because I will never be the nurse that does not have enough time to take care of my patients, and I'm very, very strongly agreeing on that. I've never changed my stance on that. But yeah, post COVID, it has gotten terrible. But when you go to nursing school, like they don't tell you all of this. You don't get a lot of like psych experience. You don't get a lot of drug and alcohol. I just have that just because of my family connections. Majority of my family are addicts. Like I said, I was first born in Baltimore. I have parents that struggle, uncles. So like for me, it's a strong connection, and I love my family, and someone helped my mom, so I can only do the same for someone else's mom.
Yeah. The reason I asked that is when I worked security at a hospital, it was very apparent that the older nurses knew what was up, but the newer nurses didn't really understand the situation or the job they were in. I was
Yeah,
curious because
that's not
I'm
like you
back
get a
in
class.
school, and
No.
it seems like nurses don't really know. But I'm curious what you would think,
Well,
what you
I
were
think
taught.
now that a lot of the nurses coming up, like I've been a nurse now. Next year will be 8 years. I'm going on 7. I'm going on 8. So with that being said, you see the TikToks of all the cute little nurses, and like all of them, they're like, I love my little job, like I do this and that, and then like everyone's getting into nursing thinking like they're there to wear their fib scrubs and their Apple Watch and look all
just dance
cute.
around in the hallway.
Right. And that's like that was never a thing ever. So it's been crazy to see like a lot of them get a reality check. And that it's not a fun time to be in healthcare, but we as long as people try to do the best, that's all I can say. That's all I want to do.
Have you been to medical school?
Medical school, I don't need to go to. I mean, I'm in nurse practitioner school, so it's for my master's to be a nurse practitioner. But for medical school, that's like a PA, MD, DO thing.
That's for like.
Have you
relate to a lot of the things you've said because I used to be in that line of work as well, but then I kind of stopped because the main guy I used to take care of, he like passed away. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, that's the
So-
sad part about it.
Have you worked mainly East Coast or Northeast state?
Yeah.
Or have you gone West Coast
Yeah.
at all?
No. I know everyone knows that I'm from PA. We're a non-compact state. Basically, the only damn state that's not compact. You can come in with a nursing license, but PA license can't go out. So I just travel in PA.
And
I mean,
what cities do you ever go to Philadelphia?
I don't think. Listen, I feel like if I say anything about where I've been, I've had a lot of bad things happen. So I'll just say that. I mean,
just a
Yeah.
like
You
I
don't need
know,
to,
I
yeah.
don't speak for everybody
You don't
here,
need to do that, bro.
but I know that some of the community here would like to ruin anybody and everybody's life.
Yeah. The only reason I ask that is because like I'm curious what your opinion is on the fentanyl epidemic because I've dealt with that firsthand, and it's really bad on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Majority of
No,
people
I mean,
coming in from the street
It's bad everywhere.
are on fentanyl.
Yeah, no, I tried kratom once and I had headaches for a week withdrawing from
What
it.
the
It was
fuck are you
crazy.
talking about?
Kratom's an
Well, you're just-
interesting one. Wow. Yeah.
Just opioids in general are very crazy because it seems to be a drug that just hooks you with a snap of its fingers. You're hooked, and it's hell to go off, no matter how long you've been addicted.
Yeah. I mean, my insight, I just know that like the big thing is like the carfentanil and the synthetic fentanyl is really, really big, and it's getting bad. I know like down in Philly they have a grant from the state at one of their hospitals. They have a trank unit because trank wounds are so bad, and you're getting patients in their 30s and 20s that have tranq wounds and they're getting sent to nursing homes. So I know there's a facility in Philly, PA, that takes care of those patients. I just don't think our society as a whole is doing its best. Yeah,
They
because of the
weren't
stigma.
prepared for what an awful drug. Not even fentanyl was, but tranq, because tranq is meant for horses, you know, and it tightens your blood vessels so hard that it starts your skin to necrose. You know, you
Well-
get necrosis around your body. So
Not only that, when you mix Fent with Trank, these people stand up all day like hunched over, and their spine permanently comes fused, and they walk
Yeah.
around like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Okay, thanks for that, guys. Anyways, Lexi, I remember now that you actually had like a pretty big moment where you snapped at Mizzy, right? Where you were kind of like fed up. We should have asked about this. So, like, has your opinion on her changed? There is a lot of people who kind of agree with you. Like, for me personally, when you were doing that, you were kind of like echoing my thoughts of like, oh my god, shut the fuck up. But there's also a lot of people who really love her, and I'm curious if your opinion on her has changed since then.
Honestly, seeing her do so much better on the show, like she started getting into it, embracing it more, and that was awesome. But like, I'm not a person like if I know that I'm not gonna like watching her give up or like not participating things because she's not the center of
Yeah.
attention just annoyed me. I know what like I told her after I blew up on her, I was like, one, we were just talked to, and they said freaking do things, make things bigger. So that's why I had no problem flipping. But that whole big yelling sesh was majority of the shit that we were talking already, but no one could say it to her because you really cannot talk to her. So I mean, I love to see her like, you know, after I left and I was watching her and like her like in the litter with a sandbox or something, and then like Frank like threw her around and stuff, and like she took it like a champ. So like I was like awesome. Like I wish you just had that mentality more. Like I don't know if her skin got thicker or something, but that was great for her. But it was like really dreading a lot of the times when she would enter a room and you were the only one there because you know you weren't leaving soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Sam Hyde's type of humor? Like, what's your thoughts on this kind of comedy?
It's so yeah. I just say it's like not for me, I guess. That's all. I think like he has a huge following and it is for some people. I don't know. A lot of it is like I don't like truly making fun of other people and things like that. In some of those regards. I'm not gonna say that I don't like the man or nothing like that. I mean, it was awesome to work with him, and I don't even know if I worked with the real him because he was always in character, so
No,
it's
you
just
worked
not
with
my type of
Jason
comedy.
Goldstriker.
Yeah,
Jason
Jeremy
Goldstriker.
Gold. No, Jeremy Gold, and then Jason, and then
Yeah.
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 So
That's fair.
yeah.
Who do you want to win?
Who is left? Bert, Banks, and Luke?
Just Bert and
Bert
Binks.
and Binks.
Just Bert and Binks, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go for Banks. I said if it wasn't Peyton, you know, if she wasn't there, it was Banks, or vice versa. Just because I think Bert's gonna do fine regardless.
now I don't know
Would
if
you
this was
add Bird on
asked
any
at
social
all.
medias after the fish tank?
Would I what?
Would you add Bert back on any socials, or would you be scared
I
to?
don't. When you say add back, I don't think I have him on anything. And for me, Bert's his own man. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think I would add him, I guess, but I don't think we would really have any reason to contact each other.
Yeah,
His Twitter is really something else.
Yeah.
I think you should take a look when you get the
I've
chance.
heard, and I'm not gonna. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, you
understand.
shouldn't look. Just
Yeah,
don't
Bert
look.
make crazy
Save
content.
yourself. Save your
Yeah.
your mental
One
virginity.
of
I guess you could say.
the things that